Hey everybody, my name is Ryan, and here at eTrailer we install, test fit, and review a lot of different parts. That way we can help answer any questions those of you might have. And that's exactly what we're doing today on our 2020 Nissan Rogue. We're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT Trailer Hitch receiver. So right off the bat, one of the big questions we get asked all the time is if the hitch is going to interfere with your hands-free liftgate assist. And the answer is no. It'll still work. All you're going to have to do is kick your foot to one side of the hitch or the other. You're not going to be able to go directly underneath it, but after you do it a few times, it don't take long to get used to doing it that way. So my first impression of the hitch is I think it looks really good. It's going to be completely hidden for the most part. Only thing you're really going to be able to see is the receiver tube opening. And because of its smaller size, it's going to naturally have a cleaner appearance than the larger Class 3 2-inch by 2-inch hitch counterparts. And so it's going to do a really good job of blending in. And this will be a perfect setup for you, especially for those of you that already have 1¼ by 1¼ accessories. Hitch you really can't go wrong with because those accessories that you already have, you know are going to work really well with this hitch here. So this is a Class 2 hitch, so it's going to have that 1¼ by 1¼ receiver tube opening and a reinforced collar for extra strength, and I think that collar looks really nice as well. It's going to have the standard 1/2 inch size pinhole. Now keep in mind a pin and clip does not come included, but if you need one you can find it here at eTrailer. You're going to have loop style safety chain openings, which are really easy to get to and provide us with enough space to use just about any size hook that we might have. So it's going to have a 350-pound maximum gross tongue weight rating, and that's going to be the amount of weight that's pushing down on the hitch. So that's good for those 1 to 3 bike racks, for example. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, it's going to be 3,500 pounds. That's going to be the amount of weight that's pulling on the hitch. So that is the weight of your trailer plus anything that you might have on it. I do always like to suggest, never a bad idea to grab your Nissan's owner's manual. That way you can make sure your Rogue can pull that much weight safely. So we got a lot of questions about people curious which bike rack will work with this setup here. And one that I know does work out real well is the Thule Roadway. And I say that because that Roadway rack has a longer shank, and because our hitch does sit back a little bit, that rack will give us the clearance we need to fold it upright without having to worry about hitting the bumper. But with that being said, we do a lot of other test fits on multiple different racks, and you can see eTrailer, if that Thule Roadway doesn't pique your interest, you can find one that does. Now I'm going to give you a couple of measurements, and you're going to use these to help figure out which hitch mounted accessories to get. From the ground to the top inside edge of the receiver tube opening, it's going to be about 14½ inches. And from the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of our rear bumper, that's going to be about 5 inches. You can use that measurement to help figure out that if any folding accessories you might have can be stored in that upright position without contacting the bumper. So at the end of the day, if appearance is really important to you and you're just looking to carry around a bike rack, it's going to be a great choice for you. Now if you're looking to do a little more, maybe tow a trailer or use some larger accessories, a Class 3 2-inch hitch might be more appropriate. Now, with all that being said, to get the hitch on, it's really not too bad. There's really nothing too crazy involved and shouldn't take you a whole lot of time. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that together now. To begin our installation, we're going to be underneath the back of our Nissan here, and the first thing that we're going to need to do is remove our underbody panels. So over here on the passenger side, we're going to have 3 push pin style fasteners, and the way to get those out, take a flathead screwdriver, I'm going to pry underneath the head of it, and you're able to pop it free. So get those 2, and then this one up here in this little pocket. Now over here on the passenger side of our vehicle, we're going to have a tow hook that we need to remove. That way it'll allow us to get our hitch in place. So this tow hook here is going to be held in place with 4 bolts. We're going to have 2 on the bottom. So we'll pull those out using an 18mm socket. And then we're going to have two more located on the side of it. So again, we'll take our 18 and get those out. Remove our tow hook and set it to the side. So now we can go over our attachment points that we're going to use to secure our hitch. On the passenger side here, we're going to have two. So we're going to be using this factory weld nut as well as this one. Now I do suggest, not a bad idea, just to clean any potential dirt or debris that may be inside. I'm just going to use a tube brush. You can also spray some silicone or some penetrating oil in there to get anything out. And if we move over here to the driver's side, we're going to have a total of 3 attachment points. So I have this weld nut here, this one here, and this one right there. Again, I'm just going to clean any potential dirt and debris out of those as well. So now what we can do is kind of go over the hardware that's going to hold our hitch up in place. So it's really straightforward. We're just going to have a bolt, and we're going to put a conical tooth washer over that bolt. We want to make sure that the teeth on the washer are going to face up towards the hitch. So we'll hold our hitch up, line everything up, and then just simply thread our bolt into that weld nut. And this hardware combination is going to be the same for all of our attachment points. Now with an extra set of hands, we can go ahead and raise our hitch into position. We're just going to take our hardware and get it started hand tight. And you want to get at least one of these on each side going. That way the hitch will support itself while we work on the rest of the hardware. Now that we have all of our hardware in place and hand tight, we can take a 19mm socket and snug everything down. Now we can come back with a torque wrench and tighten down all of our hardware to the amount specified in the instructions. Now over here on the passenger side, we can go ahead and reinstall our panel the opposite way that we removed it. Now as far as the panel for the driver's side is concerned, you got a couple of choices of what you can do. You can simply just leave it off, that's perfectly fine. Or you can trim out a small opening, that way it'll fit around the hitch and reinstall it. And that's what we're going to do today. So I just held it up and kind of eyeballed where we need to cut. And you can see I made a little diagram there. So it says relatively thin plastic. I'm just going to use a pair of snips to cut this material out. So after that original cut, I did kind of test fit our panel and realized we still had some interference. So I went ahead and just took out this little extra piece that was right here using that same pair of snips, and this is how it turned out. At this point, we can go ahead and take the panel here on our driver's side and get that reinstalled as well. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the CURT Trailer Hitch receiver on our 2020 Nissan Rogue.